I am wonderful. I'm super blessed. I'm loving life. I'm going hard. I'm learning. And I'm really excited to be here and talk to you about some super incredible stuff that will blow your mind and everyone else's. It's really, actually, truly like that.
Dude, I always get excited for any guest that Snake Turban Head throws towards me. And of course, I have to give a big shout out to him for making this conversation happen. But you kind of told me a little bit about what you're doing, man. But I'm sure that nobody can explain it better than yourself. So I'm looking forward to what we're going to end up getting into today, man.
Me too. Excuse
But
me.
a good spot to
I'm
start
chopping
off.
all day. I have so many things on my. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. But a good spot I always like to start off, man, for anybody that may not be familiar with who you are, what you do exactly, and what exactly a working biologist is, man. I want you to let them know a little bit about yourself and a little bit about your work, man.
Man, excuse me. I've been swinging a machete all day, right? So I got all kinds of stuff, insect guts, plant pieces. So this is what I do. I do this stuff, diverse agriculture. We make a king's feast like a king has never feasted on before. I'm an ecological enhancement team, and we're all over Central and South America. We have 5 operational sites right now that people can come and visit. We have Nutritional Diversity Diet, which you can find out more about at nutritionaldiversity.com. And what we're working with is a nature to human co-beneficial relationship of enhancement where we get superhuman, the ecology gets super biology, right? Super growth, incredible system of life and thrivability. And it's not rocket science. We could do this at mass scale. The fact that we're not already doing this at mass scale is absolutely insane. It's great work. If the paycheck could be provided for mass scale, and I've been telling everybody for every dollar that's awarded to the War Department, we should be awarding that same amount, just responsibly, as responsible adults, to a life enhancing department that can make central power stations that supply the energy grid uh, deficiencies. And you can watch a Sean Ryan podcast where he interviews a guy that really explains, unfortunately, too, because the whole world can see that our power grid as a nation is our weakest point. Well, I have a perfect remedy for that. It also happens to be the remedy for the climate change conversation. It also happens to be the remedy for the food crisis conversation. It has the remedy for war. It has ecological worldwide enhancement and a new system of life that we're completely ready for. I think common people's problems right now, especially right now, is governments are doing things that people just don't support at all, right? And that's a major issue of this time. And what I'm seeing as an alternative agriculturist who could build diverse agriculture sites that grow 300 plus different species, that's plant and animal, make incredible natural sustainable power sources that don't harm the environment because they're not extreme, because they're not trying to power this city of way too many people that from the space shuttle looks like a cancer patch on the surface of the planet microscopically, exactly same structure pattern, seriously, right? And we live sustainable, we spread out, we live sustainably in a new era where this is our moral responsibility. Obviously, the climate change conversation is very arguable right now, but obviously there's a line at some point where we're going too far as wastefulness, damage to the ecology, right? And we're getting there, whether we're close, whether we've crossed the line, whether we're on the line. We need to just go ahead and do the right thing, responsible adults, and start to develop exactly what I'm talking about. Spread out. Imagine pulling off the highway at a rest stop and you can eat a whole incredible meal. You can sleep in a nice place. The power grid is sustained right there by natural energy and a department of life, or a department of rebuilding, and not a war department, or department of defense and conflict. And those contractors that build the big toys to do all the war stuff, they can build us big toys to do this diverse agriculture stuff that enhances the planet in such a dynamic, powerful way. Like I said, it's truly insane that we're not already doing this. It's truly insane that we absolutely have no relationship with nature. We've been removed from it, and we live in the cancer patch. It's insane that we stabbed the flag and then wrote a document, and we never thank anybody for this land, which actually does damage everything that we're working with. If anyone knows anything, like the Cleve-Baxter test of the 1960s, or the Dr. Masuro water pictures in catalog of the 2008, right? And many others. Parselius mapped this whole thing out, for God's sake. So we've had the information, but academia and culture and government has us very well steered in this other direction, which is ridiculous already.
Well, it's just a means to be able to continue making money for themselves, because they keep everybody in these city areas, and they make it so that everybody thinks that everything is extremely scarce. They think that everybody is always bickering with each other. It kind of just incites the whole idea of what they're trying to keep spiraling up.
Yeah, but don't they print the money?
Efforts.
I mean, at the very top, don't they print the money? So really, the money's not the thing. They can print, you know what I mean? They've got endless amounts of it. The thing that's just a control lever to take all labor of mankind and rip it off of them. That's what that is, right? Because they're printing, they make the money at the very top. So this is just how to control us. That's all it is. And we live in a world of abundance, my friend. This is an abundant world out here. We can have food for the population times 5 million of us. You know, we could duplicate this population 100 times, no question, live sustainably, live spread out, and everybody eat like no one's ever eaten on this planet before, and live with we have bioluminescent plant technology now. We've got drones. Why are we using them for war? We can totally enhance the ecology 24 hours a day with these things. That's what we need to be doing. You know, all these big toys that they're using for this mass destruction, we're at that pinnacle point of technological advancement where we could do so much in a co-beneficial relationship with nature. Again, insane. How are we not doing this?
So what exactly is like your process? Like when you come into a new area and you start trying to set all this stuff up, what exactly is your foundation to kind of get all of this stuff to start working?
Yeah, okay, so the basic search terms right now is permaculture or biodynamic agriculture. Those are your first, that's the first two baby step sciences. And there is permaculture is a coined term by an author, Bill Mollison. He wrote the Permaculture Design Manual back in the 1960s. Biodynamic agriculture was written by Rudolf Steiner back in the 1920s. It's actually a few steps ahead of permaculture. But listen, everybody who's in permaculture movement right now has straight mastered this science. You can go to sites all over the world. I'm heavily involved with 5, loosely involved with 100, and there's thousands of these things already operable all over the whole world. Another thing is, you know, and I'm learning to tell this whole story and how I came into it, like no pain, no gain, right? I incurred extreme PTSD to a level where I couldn't even be near another human being, and I basically just lived out in nature for years. And I want to just clarify, like, I wasn't Tarzan. Like, I still used the machete, I still used the shovel, I still came to town and got new boots, and you know what I mean? But I definitely stayed out in nature and was obsessed with this science for 7 years. So that's really how I've gotten into the stages in the game where I'm at now. But if you go to our YouTube channel, you can see 75-year-old indigenous Colombian woman from the Amazon who work with me, elders of tribes, you know, like heavily well respected If someone wants to come down, I can take you to the sites that I'm heavily involved with, and you'll quickly realize that like all the chiefs and chieftains and captains, well, they got a lot of respect for me. I've figured out a lot of stuff, and I'm not trying to talk myself up or anything like that, but what I'm trying to tell you about is this relationship of an infinite magnitude that you can embark on yourself with nature. We have no idea. It is a specific removal from nature that is our biggest cause of sickness. So you can heal most every single condition with the nutritional diversity diet, with time in nature, and that's mental and physical, and worldly, very simply. And it's really crazy. Like, so where did we get monoculture farming from? I'm from New Mexico, the land of enchantment, and they worshipped the corn god. Now, or there was a corn god, and they had monoculture. Because of the hardcore desert, they had to figure out a little bit of a diverse agriculture method. One very well-known system is called the Three Sisters. And, it's a bean and a ground cover, a vine, a ground cover, and a tree or stem plant together, right? And they had to do that out of pain and gain, right? They had to. So, but this, now we know from modern technology that the grassine turned into the kern kernel in the matter of one star day, right? So this wasn't an evolutionary species at all. And this monoculture farming system is not from the page of nature. This doesn't come from nature's page. It comes from some other page, right? Where we're gonna make a chemical for that, and we're gonna make a big machine. But we've got nature out here, right here, showing us that we're supposed to be in a diversity. And that goes all the way through, my friend. Like, if you want to cure PTSD, you can do it through the microbiome. People don't realize that, but you can do that. You can make a super powerful microbiome in your gut. And how do we do that? Diversity. We feed it a huge diversity. And wild plants, and hardcore plants, and plants grown the right way, and meats grown the right way, and not tortured animals, but strong, beastie animals, right? Like, we all know the difference between hunting meat and store-bought meat, right? So we need to really start to go in the direction of what I think the religious people are talking about as the real tree of life, because they say a period of knowledge and then a period of tree of life or something like that. And so I think that what I'm talking about is it. And now we're right at that cusp of technology as well, where we can go set up a Pendleton wheel on a spring and start to generate a little bit of hydroelectricity, and we can set up the solar panels and start to intake a little bit of, and we can have small, sustainable, little bit wind chargers for our encampment. And I've got the numbers and everything. I've got the specs for all of this all completely drawn out. I know how it's going to be sustainable all the way out to watershed lines and river usages. And there's all natural ways to clean your wastewater before it goes back into the river. Everything has to be in a flow. We have to base all of our living styles on nature, and we don't do that. And what I'm seeing after all my time and advancement in nature, which is infinite. I'm a little baby in this, man. Like, yeah, that's my other thing about it. There's no egos out here. You're like, you are never gonna learn it all. You ain't never gonna learn it all. Now all of us combined are gonna learn it all out here. This is where we're supposed to be. You know what I mean? And it heals everything. And then I make a super microbiome, and I can beat up all the people that think they know what it is. No, just, but I can, you know what I mean? It's the same. But listen, truly, it's got to be a hybrid. You wouldn't be able to do this. What's at the degree? Well, you would have if all our generations before us were doing what they were supposed to be doing. We'd be in it right now. But we've been very impressively convinced to ignore all that incredible potential and focus on aerodynamics, not biodynamics. If we could get biodynamics where we've gotten aerodynamics and conflict and control freakism, like, these are basic little games that we should be able to see, like the New York 3 cups in a ball. You know what I mean? These tricks and these diabolical things that are on us. We have to realize that somewhere down the line, we're going to be looking back at this point where we were blowing things and we were spending billions of dollars to blow stuff up. We're like, well, that is crazy. We could have been spending millions of dollars like we are now to do this and live the way that we're living and be incredibly strong people and small collectives where child abuse isn't even possible. And if you know what I mean, like it's going to get dealt with, right? Like I also saw the Sean Ryan. I became a Sean Ryan fan, and I saw the one where he found the kid that found all the IP connections that were. Because me and Snake even had a conversation, and a few people was like, "Could this even be real? All the stuff you hear about? Like, I don't know anybody that does this. Could this be right?" But then you see there's all these IP connections, and there's thousands, and then you start to walk out of your house and you're looking at everybody very differently. Dude, this is all produced at the end of the day by the city, by the big city. That's where you're gonna get your toxic substances. That's where the most toxic people are. You know what I mean? That's where the toxic education that you can send your kids with 100 grand right now to learn agriculture, and they will go up the planet. Dude, when they put in this monoculture, one species planted for miles and miles and miles that requires all these different pesticides because it's not put in the balance of nature, they don't care and they know better and they're the experts and you shut up and you know, if you don't like it, we'll kill you. It is a lot of their attitudes. Another important, back to the cup and ball thing, and I know I'm jumping around, but you said to just be yourself, so and it all ties together. Our social culture is a huge brake system on us, and it's part of this programming that's holding us back. You know, you almost got to dumb yourself down and wrap yourself in bullshit, right? For somebody to accept you. I was telling you, after living in the jungle for 7 years and hating lies and not, that's why, you know, I'm done. I've just seen a young innocent child be fucking pumped full of lies. I hate lies. I hate human beings for 7 years, and I'm totally done. And then you come back to society, and you're just like 50 times. I don't even want to deal with these people. Like, what am I doing? Why am I coming back to this? Why don't I go stay out here with my indigenous friends? That like there's real love. There's a connection you just can't even have with these people. Like, what am I doing for this same young person that got stuff full of the lies? Is why I came back to the plate. But there's a lot of people that once they find my lifestyle, this lifestyle that I'm telling you about, that's infinite, why would they backpedal back to here to the city and try to be on some podcast?
Oh yeah, it's
What?
like a generational thing, man. People get tricked for a couple different generations into giving up their ability to just be self-sustaining in order for convenience, as they might see it in the city. Because a lot of people, you know,
That's a true
unfortunately,
statement.
they would rather, you know, be able to just plug into something rather than actually do the hard work to be able to sustain and be able to get it for free. But like I said, it's a matter of convenience. People are willing to give up their ability to be able to be completely free off the land just for the sake of having something the instant that they want it. And it's really unfortunate. But once people start flipping around their mindset, and it seems like Gen Z and millennials and all of Gen X is starting to finally flip the switch back on this after living in these concrete jungles for so long, people are really starting to want to move back towards getting away from the cities and starting to get back towards homesteading and actually building these sustaining environments.
Totally, dude. That was a very well put. That was very well put. Yeah, and that was a true statement, what you said about the generational thing. In fact, I think it would be true to say that if we were to finally wake up, because whoever thinks you're not programmed, like, think again, man. There's so much programming in all of us, you know, and
Oh, and it's subtle too. People don't even notice that they're being programmed.
yeah, I mean, I find myself catching myself, and I'm just like, oh, wow, me, you know, we're on a constant learning journey. I don't know that much. Thank you for what I do know, and hopefully, I would like to learn some more tomorrow. And please, in faith and respect, if I sharpen my own blade every single day, please get behind the grinder, right? And you know, I have a really true story about saying that. Someone told me, an OG told me to say that. I said it, and I got a response, and something has been guiding me ever since. Like a phenomenal presence, and now I think there's more than one, to be honest, has been guiding me ever since. And it's a true statement to tell you that if you came down here and visit me, you'd see all the things I'm telling you. Everybody respects me. I've written. You can look up the stuff that I put together. This is the game plan. I don't care about credit or whatever. Like, I know that I'll be running back to the jungle at some point when my mission here is complete. And the other thing that you were saying about the subtle programming is, I think that if we woke up absolutely completely, we would be in absolute shock of the lie with inside the lie, with inside the lie, with inside the lie, with inside the lie. And they want to push us inside 10 more lies. Or it wants to, not they, a polar intelligence that is negative, that is taking advantage of everyone with deception and lies, which are temporary, which is the construct that we live in. It's temporary, and it's time to knock it down and start to get reconnected with nature, which will get behind you in that same, and I mean, I can honestly say bulletproof way. And there's some doctrinal things that you'll learn, because we can't just flip our philosophy in that sand out there not be sand. There are certain things that are not flippable, right? So make that discernment too. And let me just put in that so people understand what I'm talking about. Modern psychology, old school, ancient spirituality, and many other there are so many dissections of this behavior pattern, which they use a very abused word for, and I have a better one, which is just selfish, control freak piece of shit. But they have what's called a narcissist prototype and personality type out there. And people can go to anti-narcissism.org. That's a Swedish scientist, Kia Karlberg. She's a genius. And you also need to read Napoleon Hill's Outwitting the Devil. Just as a basic little baby step human being, I won't respect you unless you do these things, because you won't be able to see around corners, and you won't be able to see these people playing stupid tricks on you. And that's the thing. We need to start building a culture where you're not playing stupid tricks on me, and I'm playing stupid tricks on my young one. I don't care what, I lack a good example, but the United States has family court. You can't get a jury. You can't you can't get an attorney appointed if you can't afford one. You don't have your constitutional rights, but you could be jailed and fined and cut off. It's just total family butcher. And their industry terms of the lawyers making the little high five deals behind the thing is weep them and reap them. I mean, we don't realize the sick government and sick institutions that have been strained on us from all sides. That we watched the Braveheart movie, and it's like, now your wife has to get it on her wedding night from this grease ball. Well, I mean, what we have with some of these social services and ecological services and war services, like I said, it's absolutely ridiculous. And they're lying to you. They're lying to us. They're playing us against each other. And these are punk tricks that should not be working. And you have to start getting mad if you're you or me or the other guy that's in our tribe, you know what I mean? Anyone, you're going to have to start getting mad at people for being so programmed and dumb. And what happens with some of these people psychologically is they're never going to listen to you. They're literally trapped and lost forever into the dark side, like Darth Vader, and they're just not able to recuperate from that. And this is where you have your pool of those IP connections we were just talking about, the child abusers of every type of form, the people who do not play by the golden rule, that do unto others what they don't want done unto themselves. We have to hold that as the gold standard. And I'm not saying be judge and jury at all, but definitely you have to know how to categorize the operational entities that are in your garden. And you need to be able to weed certain ones, and you need to be able to do what you got to do what you have to do. And if you lack that courage or the ability to discern, you're not going to get respect from above, you're not going to get respect from me, you're not going to get respect from nature, and you shouldn't get respect from anyone else either. So, the blood is really on all of our hands, and more so with any kind of conflict, with our human conflict with nature, which should be a very loving, co-thriving relationship.
Oh yeah, that's something that no matter what conspiracies you believe in, nothing that you get into with the new mind control concepts that they're always throwing out at people through modern day media, pollution's always a problem. The way that people destroy the environment is always going to be a problem. I mean, the whole climate change aspect of things, like I said, I know that's like in the whole realm of conspiracy and everything, but
well, I'm not willing to accept that myself personally. Like, I'm just not. Like, it's not always going to be a problem. It cannot always be a problem. If it's always a problem, whoever is, you know what I mean? This has to stop. It has to stop. And let me tell you what'll stop it. When people build that deep relationship with nature. When we finally go back out to nature as small collective communities, liquidate what you have in the city, and you go back out to nature, and I promise you, you will thank me profusely, and you will say the same thing I'm saying about this. You will not have any more tolerance for any kind of accepting shit, because there's another way. There's another way. We don't have to make plastic bottle islands. We don't have to pull straws out of the turtles. We don't have to make big cancer patches on the they just spread and spread and spread and spread and spread and completely kill off everything in its path past the growth wreath. Now, okay, so I do a lot of work in a site just outside of Medellin, Colombia. Medellin, Colombia is a very good example of a half green, half cement place, right? And Chicago, in certain neighborhoods, they maintained some half green. So I'm not saying every urban environment, but now that said, some urban environment, definitely like North Philly, definitely like there. I know a bunch of urban Chicago, no nature. To restart that environment is now technologically possible. Now, in the last little chapter, right? It wasn't a possibility 100 years ago.
So just out of curiosity too, when you're kind of diving into all this stuff, I know that I read somewhere a long time ago about down in South America, they have something that they call like black soil, which is like the soil that you can essentially grow almost anything in. Have you started looking into some of the abilities to start doing some of these like soil supplements or adding things into the soil to see if there's...
Yeah. The indigenous name for that is terra peta, and and we now know through modern science and evaluation that a lot of the Amazon jungle was created by terra peta soil creation. So and there's a lot of cultivars down there that we know that they are studied and know to be very highly graduated through horticulture. They can see that there's a lot of plant species down there that came out of some sort of biological engineering. And when you look up terra peta in the search bar, you'll hear statements like, "Oh, they don't know how they made this. They don't know how to make it. We know how to make it. My whole crew knows how to make it. We make it all the time. You will come down here and put it in your hand. You can come see thousands of different species growing in it right now." So, I definitely know all about it. Soil making is not rocket science, and you can make incredible soil. And that's step one. That's what we should be doing. The Department of Life should be just making tons and tons and tons of soil for 6 months and putting tons and tons of soil, even better soils in the make for years to come. And that would be the initial focus. Man, I was actually, true statement, a United States military LPO instructor in my final 2 years in the military. So I was already a military instructor. I had over 10,000 different students, officer down to enlisted, everything. You had to get qualified on me to step onto the USS Carl Vinson or the USS New class of Carrier George Bush. That was in 2006 and 2007 in the Newport News Damage Control Training Center. And chopping in the jungle, man. And everywhere. That's how, but, and you know what, we'll just, let me branch into homeopathic medicine real fast. So what I can do with diet and nutritional diversity superfoods is we can, because, okay, so let me just start here. Everything is a toxin and a remedy. They're both, it's the dose that decides. So when you're out here in nature, there you go, right there. So you can field test stuff by poking, rubbing inside the lip, swallow a little piece, fast, swallow a little piece. Now you're starting to get slow. There are some plants out here that you will start, you know what I mean? Just the smallest amount can really, really hurt you. So take your time and go slow and remember. So that, okay, so homeopathic medicine, and this is like the Aztecs probably did this. A whole bunch of different people probably did this. The ancient Asians, the Mongols probably did this, right? Which is you take a known toxic dose of a very toxic substance, little by little, and I do this, and you build up a stronger immune system. Now, isn't that a much better prescription than the one we just had? But anyway, you know, you go outside, you kiss your dog, you walk, you run in the sun, you push. You know, we should have just a little bit better of a human instruction manual going on. But then again, if I want to remove that from you and start controlling you because you're ignorant to what's really going on and you need me for all this stuff that we can handle on our own, well, I'm a real dubious person, and you better at least know how to categorize me. So, moving into the nutritional diversity diet, we eat a very narrow spectrum of special foods in the grocery store, tortured animals, industry horrors, pesticides, chemical foods, right? What? Processed foods, brownie and a cancer in a brownie, right? I mean, at some point you have to stop, you have to categorize these entities correctly and stop letting them play stupid tricks on you. You know what I mean? Because they got the health industry too, and they print the money that you use. And we live in an abundance. We live in an abundance. How do you think they get the big palaces? It's off our labor. So we need to keep our labor in small, sustainable encampments. And then you liquidate what you got in the city, you go out to the rural, and then you grow a nutritional diversity diet yourself. And then you trade secrets wherever. We got a whole little community, digital community built on our website. There should be 50 of these. What are we doing here? We got one life to live, man. I myself, I'm gonna go out swinging for the truth. And that's every layer of the truth. And the truth might not be what you expected it to be. And the truth might not have came from the information source that you expected it come from, but I'll tell you, it comes from a strong one. And I can grow one species down here in the ravine where it gets no wind resistance. And it will produce me nothing. But way up at the top of the hill where there's this furious breeze, that species might not even grow bark, but that one's growing bark because it's tough. And that's the leader tree. It's dropping all the seeds right there at the top of the hill, and they're all coming down. Einstein said, pay attention to nature, you'll understand everything better. I mean, I'm working on the oration of my presentation here, but this is not my presentation. Like, I'm just the messenger. You know, don't shoot the messenger. Don't let your small, jealous mind fry over me, having the truth, and you not. No, I'm just playing. But it doesn't matter, because I just got it from these people, from nature. You can literally just get this from nature, and that's why I see the degree of fantastic programming that has been effective on everybody, because we don't have any idea. We don't even know. It's right. It's all over. It's right all around us. Like, honestly, screaming at you, but no one's listening because you haven't built that ear. It's
Oh,
really that simple. It
oh
is
yeah,
what it
well,
is.
100%. I mean, everybody always thinks that everybody that's living off in the jungle or out in the rural areas or something are less educated, but for whatever reason, people in the cities, I don't know how they get that mentality, considering that any of the people that are living out in rural areas, they know how to interact with nature, they know how to be able to sustain themselves, they know how to be able to go and find food, they know how to do all of this type of stuff. So the whole hierarchy of wherever somebody got that from is completely ridiculous, considering that, you know, those people have been disconnected from the land, meaning that they're not able to actually have these natural senses in order to figure these things out for themselves, or even having that puzzle mindset to be able to figure out some of these complicated puzzles in nature to work, to figure out how an ecosystem works. But again, unless people actually take themselves away from that mentality of thinking in that materialistic city dwelling type, then you're never going to be able to break away from that and actually live self-sustaining and actually understand what true freedom is.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, I'm not either until I go do it for another decade. You know what I mean? Like I was saying, I see so many places in my own self being out there for that time. Now, like just longing to go back. I'm seeing so many ways that if I went and did another 7 years, oh, bro, right? And so, and out there, it's just never ending. It's just never ending amazement. One thing after the next thing, and your personal conscious level. I never would have ever known. Like, I wonder if I'm saying it hard enough in this podcast. I wonder if someone shook me and slapped me and punched me in the nose and said, get out there now and stay, no matter how hard it gets, for as long as possible. You come in, you get supplies, and then you go back. You know what I mean? If I would have listened, like, I'm not sure I would have listened. But at the same time, I am now sure that this is the direction that we have to go.
So
Sure, I'm
theoretically, if
sure.
everybody wanted to start trying to get into this type of stuff, even if they're trying to start some of this at home and they're on their own property that they have currently, what's like a good start for everybody? How can everybody kind of start to get into trying to build themselves a sustainable environment?
That's a perfect question. Well, right away, everybody should just go get a piece of land. You don't have to own it. Just go find a spot and start to clear the small stuff. Make a little pile. Start a little compost. Once a week, you and your family, you go out there, you dump your kitchen scraps. You start to make soil. You read about how to do it. You try different things. You go on to the different forums. Permies is another one. PERMIES, and that's a huge permaculture development advancement forum. You can learn and donate your experiments. Um, and really, our community, nutritional diversity. Um, okay, and the other thing that you can totally do the research so that you're making an informed decision and you're learning about the alternative agriculture operations and how you can do it, and then you can liquidate your stuff and get so much more for it in the city. That's the thing. That's really a thing to pay attention to as far as making a big leap. Is you could probably liquidate a few city assets and get a few country assets that are that have much more potential. Now that you heard about this abundance alternative agriculture thing, you could just go off for years and years and years and have a place where your family bonds and has their most memorable moments at the very least. We're a management company too down here. I'll give you the number, and they they do rounds. They just a whole tribe of guys, because the way that diverse agriculture works is you can actually work a good 11-day rotation on the big stuff. Let it grow in, or whatever it's supposed to do in its time, and then so there's a whole little new nomadic tribal culture forming off the coattails of new investments from the north that are buying up you would be surprised. And man, I got guys that will show people ready to go turnkey operations right now if they're interested, or vacant lands. Oh man, I'm telling you, that's why I'm here in the tropics. Highest growth rate, serious potential. And I mean, like I said, I don't want to be too cocky and all of this, but I mean, we've really got like the Spears tip, and it's insane that we haven't done a better job at marketing, but we haven't really had to, because people see this and they're in. And I think, and you know, I'm actually really kind of like in a unique family circumstance, and that's why I'm on this video. But we should, as a collective community of agriculturists, doing it from the true page right in front of us, do a better job at getting the word to our fellow man.
And if just, I know that we're going to end up throwing links and everything in at the end, but just for the sake of, since we were bringing it up, what are some good reference websites, or even like your website possibly, that people can come and get some of this information on?
Yeah, so nutritionaldiversity.com, and you can click the let's go, fill that out, and you're kind of in the tribe. On the left, if you want to get to quick reading, you can scroll down, go to learn or class or information or some learning, not shopping. And there's a link on there that'll say NDEEP, Nutritional Diversity Ecological Enhancement Program. There it is. And we've even got a fully spec'd out, completely built. There's a alternative energy executive and an aerospace engineer that works as a Pentagon contractor right now on the team for the BioVoltaire, which is, there's already agriculture drones in existence right now. But we've got a new spin on it with some new programming interests with this ecological enhancement program. And I want to throw in, like, if you really want to make a super stab at this and know sort of the foundations of some of the super phenomenal possibilities that are out there, I would say read Rudolf Steiner's Biodynamic Agriculture. It's a quick 7-lecture series. It's some voodoo stuff, but you can look up YouTubes of farms all over the world that were like, yeah, you know, we started applying Steiner's preparations and we became rich. What we're doing is a combination of that and 10 other things. And our growth results are pretty spirited. That's not to say that there's thousands of other guys that have done incredible things. And you can, most definitely, this is the direction that we have to go in now. It warrants our investment. It warrants government level investment. And there's all kinds of big toys that we can employ with this too, for the big contractors to make the big money. And once you leave the city, you'll understand everything I'm saying 10 times clearer. How are you going to see how toxic the soup is when you're in it?
Yeah, you need to be able to see it from the outside, man. A lot of the time, it's really, really hard to see how messed up a situation is when you're in the middle of it. And especially considering the whole aspect of indoctrination, man. They've gotten everybody to a point where they've thrown so many lies at people that when they actually do tell the truth, they don't even know what the truth is anymore. So the only way to be able to get out of that is to separate yourself from it, even for a little while. That's why people feel better when they just get out of nature for a little bit. You need to just reset your mind and get away from it to understand everything that's getting pushed on you all the time from all directions.
Yeah, and there's that other quote that goes right with that too. It's like, was it George Orwell or someone? But they were just like, it will become such a fake time that someone speaking the truth will be absolutely hated, you know. And I feel like we're in that time now, you know.
Oh yeah, and just like who was it that was saying it? It was Klaus Schwab. He was saying that you'll be happy and you'll own nothing, and that's exactly what's happening with everybody in the cities, man. They're getting to a point where everybody's renting. Nobody actually owns any property. Nobody has anything that they can actually put their time and effort and everything into. But if you actually take the time to get yourself some property, which will probably be a lot cheaper than renting even a small apartment in the city, then you actually own something. You could start putting your time, effort, and resources into that. Because a lot of the time, people in the city, man, if you rent something, what's the point of you putting any time and effort into, just for an example, if you own an apartment, painting the walls, doing anything like that? It's an investment that's never going to come back for you. But if you buy real property, I mean, that's just an opportunity for investment from a million different means, and not just investment financially, but also investment in yourself and the future of your kids' generation, the generation after that. And once you get an area like this going, man, it's one of those things that stays in the family for generations and generations. And you see some of these people that have this real nice property now. I mean, somebody had to start it at some point. So, I mean, you might as well be the one that starts it for your family, right?
Man, I really love what you have to say there, and I'm familiar with the quote, and we could flip that on him. We cannot own anything and be happy, honestly. Like, I will take everything that I've got and I will make it an umbrella for 10, 15 other, 20 to 50 other people, and they can all be co-owners or whatever in it. You know what the true rebel culture would be? Is if we just started doing it everywhere. You know what I mean? How does that happen? Because nobody owns this land, man. That's just ridiculous. Like, already, and here's the thing I was thinking, like, so let's just say, like, let's go into the future. We make this hybrid, high-tech, all-nature hybrid, right? High state-of-the-art tech, nature, enhanced, Avatar movie, more like Paradise, that Brandon helps you build, right? and we have this high-tech hybrid, okay? Hey, we can look it up. Here's the issues of the day. Hey, guys, 90, my 90. What do you guys want to do? You want to do the thing? Oh, you don't want to do the thing? You want to do an alternative? Oh, okay. We want to do an alternative. That's what we got. You know what I mean? What? All right. You know? Now everyone vote on the alternatives. Like one fingerprint could register a vote right now with tech. So easy. It already does for our gym membership, our bank, all that, right? Whoop. I don't want to do this. Like, do you want to fix the street? Yes. Do you want to go to war? No. All right, shut up. Fix the street. You know what I mean? Like, the government's no longer, you know what I mean? There's so many solutions here. It's like, why are we still playing cup and ball? And then another thing is, why do you still think that you own? Yes, you know, land. It's here for everyone to. So if we did the sustainable, not wasteful, not harmful, toxic, destructive lie, if we didn't do that, and we did the ecologically thriving truth, and we enhanced that, and we spent all these billions of dollars for stupidity and put it in this, man, like, why are we not doing that? We could generate all the electricity until wherever. You know what I mean? We could do so much technological advancement till the cows come home. We don't need, you know, that palace for what? That guy with 50 palaces and all this ridiculous art. Like, we have to move past this. You know what I mean? We have to totally disconnect from the narcissistic construct and go directly to the natural construct, which is an abundance. It's an abundance. You, your little team, your little area, and we all have the only thing is, see, in the United States Navy, I served on a nuclear-powered aircraft carrier. This thing had 5,000 people on it. It's a city. It's compartmentalized with these airtight hatches. So you can blow off a quarter of the ship, and the rest of the ship is fine. That water's not coming in, right? If you've got tribes exactly a certain amount of distance away from you and something heinous happens, you got people that's not like 20 people ain't gonna show up. Hey, what are you doing attacking these other people? Why are you in conflict? This is stupid. Who are you, stupid? We're categorizing you correctly now. Move on. But in the abundance way. And, you know, whoever wants to use a certain amount of sustainable space, and I have the metrics. I have all the ways that you could have a licensed person say, okay, yeah, now we're ready for another community here. Boom. You know what I mean? And you have to just Like, listen, I have a fantastic, we've built fantastic cities. I'm not against technology. I'm not against, there's been so much wonderful energy and so many wonderful installations and so much wonderful stuff. But could it not produce waste and recycle into the environment and become an ecological enhancement facility? Yes, now too. Yes, it can. So we can convert some large portions of many of these cities in the correct direction. I mean, literally now, I've got drone plans for a small office space or apartment complex, drones that can attend to vertical horticulture on the sides of the building that wastewater could run through, and or at least the wastewater could run through beds that produce greens that can feed chickens, and then those in a happy space, in a sustainable space. I mean, it's not rocket science. We've just unfortunately been really super programmed, man. And the recollection of that is on the other side of your ego, right? So you got to get there. We have to become above our egos. We can't be, they have to gas you up on your own ego to control you, because then you won't listen to the truth, right? They program you like, anyone who's speaking like that guy's crazy. You know what I mean? Anyone who speaks outside the programming in a super hot topic, oh man, everybody wanted to kill that guy. Like, whoa, I'm just offering an alternative. I'm just speaking my mind. And that's another thing about current culture. You want people to be individuals. People have a fingerprint for a reason. I tie a noose around my neck and put on the penguin suit and quack and lion too sometimes. I've even had fun doing it. But to embrace your individuality, if everyone was to embrace their individuality, then no one will be hating the first guy who takes the noose off his neck and the penguin suit off, you know what I mean, and says, I'm gonna go farm and get dirty, or tell the truth in my cutoff shorts or whatever eccentricity some truth teller does have this day and age, because the real guys are zigging when the herd is zagging right now. And maybe part of their eccentricity is just part of the zig, right? It's their expression of, these people really don't have it going on. They're programmed sheep.
Dude, every big movement started because somebody stood up and walked the opposite direction, man. And people need to start realizing that all the people that they look at as crazy, I mean, almost every single person that ended up making some drastic change in society was thought to be crazy in their time. But it took a couple generations later to realize that they were way ahead of their time. I mean, imagine, for example, man, if Tesla was around nowadays, the type of society and future that we'd be living in, where we'd have zero energy or zero cost to energy, we'd have self-sustaining energy. Like, again, all this type of stuff gets repressed, man.
But I think some of those energies, that's another thing I've seen. I think some of those energies will be harnessable if we could somehow, and I know I'm talking mission impossible here, but if we can somehow start to live in the abundance, I think that's the most attractive way to put it, and start in optimal health, optimal wellness, I'm an all natural athlete, but I'm right behind the steroid guys, you know what I mean, who are going to die young, who are doing something fake and killing their mindset to grow their muscles, killing their character set to grow their muscles a lot of times, getting stuck into this superficiality of things and not going into the deeper layers.
Every shortcut always has side effects.
That's a true statement. Yeah, too. And you just don't want to do anything fake. If you're going to don't do it unless you're going to do it right. Don't do it unless you're going to do it honest. Don't do it unless you're going to do the right thing. And sometimes when you don't do it, you just fucked up. So do the right thing, tell the truth. Those would actually be the answer to the question you asked me before. What are the first two things people should start doing? Stop lying right now to yourself, to whoever. Not even the little white lies, not even the little cocky stories that you made up to sound cool. Get rid of all of that, because basically you want to align yourself way over here on the polar side of the spectrum. Then, when you finally get somewhere down the line of this adventure in reality, into cosmos, in nature, baby step nature, right? It's like when you finally get off the lie and start living the truth. That's really what it is. And you can get very true inside the lie, but that guy who's super true in the liar community, that guy out in my community is super true. And people are like, whoa, and that's where he should be. That's where he would be happiest, and that's where he'd be most effective on the rest of the biology in the cosmos that's in his immediate effect. Because this is really just a training module for your soul, right? And that's another thing, a lot of academic biologists have been stripped of by a major academic. Snake laughs at the story. He's always telling me back. He's like, I love that story when you said that the PhD showed up and he couldn't even walk to the top of the hill, and he was telling you the scientific names of everything. And I told you I was going to tell you about names. Now's the time, right? So you can call me Brandon, you can call me Angel, people have called me all kinds of different things, man. I've had 1,000 different names that were really official, that hundreds of people knew me by throughout my life. None of those, in no other name or word that you can come up with, begins to describe who I am, or who that plant is, or who that animal is, or that lion could be your ancestor. You don't know. It's way more than meets the eye. And these academics, they don't have the spiritual side, they don't have the metaphysical side of stuff. They all sit there and egoistically tell you how they know the names of everything and talk down to you because you don't. But put a shovel in their hand and then see what they can do. Nothing. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And they got to call the chemical company that they went to the conference for. They got the little cookie handouts at. I mean, it's just fucking ridiculous. Like I said, the polar negative intelligence has done an impressive, fantastical job programming everyone with bullshit and getting us off our true destiny path, and it's really the same play as what's in the biblical scriptures too. All right, like let's leave the slavery situation. We'll eat the manna. We'll learn the nature. You know what I mean? And fuck these guys. Enough of this shit already. These fucking self-control freak pieces of shit that are touching little kids too. Now we all find out every damn time. You know what I mean? It's just like, what the fuck? After a while. So, if you've hung with us for this long, you're into the gritty, right? And it's time, man. It's time to make the sacrifice, to make the investment, to be the real true person and liquidate this half of the city bullshit or whatever you don't need. Do the marketplace and stack up some cash and start getting with your other buddies to do the same thing. And you can start to invest in an agriculture down here or right next to you. I personally feel like the police state of the states, where out here in the jungle we can do whatever we want, really, makes this a way better investment, way higher growth rate down here. I'm getting off the track of where I wanted to go, which is we have to stop living the lie, and there's 120 ways to skin the cat in that, and very profitable, and you keep your produce. And listen, the oligarchs themselves are going to want your food. You think they don't know about the chemical? You don't think the cigarette company execs knew about this? Right? We watched that movie. They know that this stuff is killing everybody, that it's killing the ecology around them, that it's killing water supplies. Are you still drinking from city water? Or do you have a water filter on that plume? There are so many degrees to get away from this monster to where you can think clearly, even with extreme PTSD, and when you can see the thing, you know what I mean, and start way behind and get way ahead. And that's athletically, in your health. We've cured every single condition, man. Like, I don't even want to start naming them off, because there's a story out here in these communities that has dealt with that in an all natural way because the person was figuring out enough to say, I need to go figure this out. And we need you to do this also because the truth is you can't keep paying for the war machines. You know, you got to write it off in whatever other way, however that works, to where your money goes to the diverse agriculture and not to the,
Would it freeze?
Just for a second, I guess. But isn't that funny? Stop paying the war machine. Don't write it off however you're going to do it to a diverse agriculture.
Then it freezes on you. Well, I guess kind of starting to wrap up. But
that's the attitude that we have to have. That's the attitude that we have to have. And man, listen, if you and Sally and Susie and Tim do this, then Jamie and John and Joseph are going to hear about it. And they're going to talk. And they're going to start saying, you know what? That's a freaking smart idea. And you know what? We do have the technology, prosumer technology right now that we can start hooking up. But, you know, do it right. Get with people who have done them and get yourself a good, solid set of installations and start getting a good set of managers. You know, the management fees for some of these diverse agricultures that are really pretty well paced can be, you would be shocked. Land prices down here, you would be shocked. Materials prices, way better. But I say also, you rebels, just go do this. Just go do it. Just start right now. Start making your compost little by little. Swing your machete, your shovel, open the books, do your study. You know, I want to encourage you to do this as much as possible. For real, not hippie movement, but a real, let's get this right. And listen, I'm a sober guy. I don't condone. Alcohol in nature is the physical state of rot. If you are still drinking alcohol on a regular basis, you're all right. The drugs, the cigarettes, all that stuff. No. There's a cup and ball game for each one. For most of these substances, and the evil intentions and all that stuff are so terrible. You cannot support this machine whatsoever. You can't do this to yourself anymore. You have to stop. And you know where it will be easiest for you to do so if you've accidentally become on that road? Way out in nature. So get out in nature, heal yourself, become your best self, do the vision quest, learn it, make the relationship, set the example for me and everyone else to follow you further than the last guy.
Wow. Powerful words, man. I was about to say, I usually end the show with some words of wisdom, but I don't think you could probably top that. That is some great words to end up closing the show on. So
yeah, tell the truth. That's my main wisdom. Tell the truth. You hurt yourself so drastically in the metaphysical, in the eternal scope of things, in the eternal scope of things, by lying. It's phenomenal. We should have been told. So do not lie, and do not listen to lies, and investigate, and don't just take something you hear on the tell you a vision and start running with it. Ever. I will be looking at you as a jackass if that's you, you know?
Oh yeah, I could definitely agree, man. It's one of those things that when it comes to lying in general, man, it's so much easier just to tell the truth anyways, because once you start getting rolling in that spiral of lies, man, it just makes life way more stressful, way harder for yourself. So it's easier just in general to either tell the truth or just don't say shit at all, man.
Yeah. And I would even say tell the truth loudly with an edge on it. I'm starting to find that out through lots of diverse adversity and experience. You know, not only when we've got the truth, it might be that void we were talking about. You know, if we've got the truth, we really might be responsible to run with it like Marcus Aurelius, the sword of justice was in our hands. You know what I mean? Like, we really need to take this seriously. That I don't care and I'll just eat chips and watch Netflix attitude is definitely from an evil source. So pick up the shovel, get out there, let's do this. I'm always available to help you. I do consultations on diet, agriculture, and fitness almost every day now.
And if anybody wanted to contact you to take you up on your advice or being able to figure out how to do all this stuff, get some more information and learn all together, man, where can everybody find you on the internet and where can they find all this information you've been talking about?
Okay, killer. So check this out. We got nutritionaldiversity.com. That's the bio revolution, which is the whole revolution. We just didn't know it was biological. That's it. And the team behind it is incredible. It's been taken away from me. But you can that's where you can get a hold of us. And we're starting to do worldwide retreats. The link is also on that website. So we're making relationships with farms all over the world. We're going to come do nutritional diversity cooking all over the world. So you can come, hang with us, eat the nutritional diversity, become a superhuman in locations all over the world. I was in the Netherlands, I was in Budapest, Finland, Brazil, Argentina, Panama, Colombia, physically this year, meeting with new powerful minds, iron sharpening iron, right? And we want to bring more people into this. And are we still good? Okay.
Yeah, we're still running.
Okay. We're going to continue to do this year after year after year after year, and it's going to snowball and grow. There's already like 50 of us jumping in, jumping out to different places, but sometimes we're crusading. We're looking at all these different ecological places. We're even plotting some of that Tesla stuff, some of those Tesla type of possibilities out, ley line, agriculture sites, and all kinds of advanced stuff, drones, everything. There's so many brilliant people on this team. If you're a billionaire, definitely throw your money at us instead of some of these other things we just heard listed off being donated $80 billions to. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. You know what I mean? We make tons of sense. And then we got VoodooBreaker.com is our video game. We have a real PC video game. You can download it and play it right now. And that project's ongoing. We're building a cool rebel-minded community. Your background makes me think of that video game this whole time. And epicdon.org. If you're having any kind of problems with addiction, with PTSD, with marriage, with having your kids stolen from you and brainwashed to hate you, or anything like that, you can come beat the drum with us every single day at 5 a.m. We do burpees. We keep it short. We study the greats, all the greats, Napoleon Hill to back in the day, Marcus Aurelius, Mishimoto, and all these great guys all the time. And I'm telling you, you sharpen your blade every day. You get up early with us, and you'll start to step your way out of it. That's epicdon.org. There's a couple more that I've become heavily affiliated with, and I'll send those in the follow up. So look at the description below.
Perfect. Yeah, no, I was going to say I'll include all the links down in the show description too, man, so everybody can find them quick and easy. And if there's any that you happen to miss, if you hadn't been sending me, I'll make sure that I include them down below so everybody can go and check them out, man. And I appreciate you making the time to come on today, share your message, share all of your wisdom, and hopefully get people going on this new movement, man. And hopefully some of my listeners will end up coming and checking it out and hopefully end up joining the flock, brother.
Yeah, let's grow the tribe. Let's grow the tribe. I don't want to be wasting my time. That sharp edge thing, that truth, living the truth thing is so serious, man. Hey, I can just see the wonderful feeling that everyone have inside themselves for following this journey and not some of these slave journeys that they're on right now, which is just, I truly love everyone and I want you to get out of that.
Oh yeah, dude. Me too, man. Because as soon as people are able to break away from this mentality of living, man, I think that people's mental health is going to get a lot better. Like you were mentioning, even their emotional health, their physical health, everything. Honestly, will start getting better because these cities, man, they're just a giant cancer on society, man. Like you said, I mean, in more than one way.
Who are